It's just a perfect little spot. So I'm thinking, here you are, like a lot of people, you're having a good life, you graduated from college, you're doing finance. Next minute COVID says, you know what, you're not going to do what you plan to do.
Yeah.
Was it a lot of kind of humming and hawing about making this huge kind of like left turn, or was it a real joy to find something?
I think it was kind of gradual, I suppose, because I'd always worked with my dad in like the restaurant and bar trade. Like he'd had the Ashford House, the Beehive, and then the place in Rathnew as well. And at the time he only had Rathnew and the Beehive, so it was kind of, he was at a tough spot as well where he couldn't serve any drink because he didn't have a working kitchen there. So between the two of us, then we dropped this in the garden and built it ourselves. And then,
and was that sort of something that you sort of just figured out in your head, or was that around and you noticed it and thought that'd be a great?
I think I'd seen one or two of them. I think there was that, is it called Fired? It's up by Goatstown, I think.
Okay.
So I'd seen that, and then obviously there was a lot of other kind of pubs dropping different types of food trailers, whether it was like a burger spot or just loads of different types of food trailers. So that was the idea. Obviously pizza is an easy enough one to lend your hand to, as opposed to opening a full kitchen, like, you know. So
but did you have it in your head that from the start this will work, or were you always kind of just thinking, let's see if it works and let's see what we have to do, and if it works, great, if it doesn't, I'll step away? But it just seems to be all fell together beautifully. But I don't know if that was always in your head that this will all work.
Well, I suppose it kind of, it can look like that. A lot of businesses, if they do go, the people think that it's just kind of happened easily, like, there's ups and downs with anything. But I suppose the main goal was to get where, they had the rule where you had to spend, I think it was €9 or something,
right,
to be able to get your pint. So we were like, well, look, if we pair this with the pub, then at least my dad could keep the pub tipping away then,
Nice.
And then it was a big hit in Rathnew, and it was brilliant, like,
A really big hit, because I'm up here in Greystones, and obviously we're very snobby people. We don't look at our neighbours, we don't need to. And yet I heard about it. I heard that this place down in Rathnew, this pizza, this was incredibly good and doing incredibly well. Was it quick? Was it a slow build, or?
Well, see, initially the only way you were allowed to travel outside the 5k, going back to the madness of COVID, was for food. So it was like, that was everyone's excuse, and they were looking for different food spots. So like in the second week, we had queues down all social distance, of course. But yeah, we queues down the way, and like it was brilliant. Like, it was a bit of a shock initially, and we were like, we're on to a good one.
Can you remember that? You must have felt like you were George Lucas and just opened Star Wars. Like, to see queues is one of those things where you just know, okay, this whatever about, like, the actual average Tuesday might come around. This obviously is a popular thing. Like, people are into it.
Well, no, it was nice, all right. It was nice. It was nice, and then obviously when all the restrictions lifted, it died down a little bit, and we realised, right, we're going to have to really push this if we want to kind of sustain it as a business. And I had one or two other things going at the time, and kind of steered away from it a bit. And now in the last, let's say, year, my dad and I have really put our heads together and said that this is what we want to do, and try to push it on, like, so.
And the leaps and bounds. I said February 2021 you open up in Rathnew. It's a huge success. And then good old Pat here from the Carrig approaches you about a year ago.
Yeah.
Was that so it's a good year, so I'm guessing you sort of had a good think about it. It was just logistics that you had to work out to get here.
Well, we kind of down in Rathnew, we'd always, like, it got to the stage even after all
we
the
should say the place is child friendly, just in case anyone hasn't guessed.
Even after the restrictions lifted, then it kind of ended up that Pizza This was supporting the pub in Rathnew.
Right.
So we were like, right, how can we? Because obviously a pub carries a large rent roll. And rental costs. Sorry. And we were thinking, right, how are we able to kind of separate them, and perhaps find a unit in Rathnew, because we've loyal customers in Rathnew, and they're who helped us get up and going, So that's then we seen the unit across the way, and at the same time Pat had approached us about doing something like this up in his beer garden,
Right.
So of course I always wanted to get something going in Greystones as well, having kind of like grown up around here with all the lads.
And Pat's not aware of the fact that you should technically be barred really at this point, given your but your childhood was spent largely around here, village store, having fun around this area. So it's a sort of a homecoming for you too. It's like you're back to where you grew up, so it's a kind of a nice feeling to be.
Well, it is, as I was saying, it's gas. Because we used to, before this was all here, it was just a wall, and we jump over the wall after getting our jellies and Lucades and all, and be eating them here. And Pat, I don't think he remembers. He'd be out telling us.
Wouldn't it be great? It'd be great if there's a picture of that just to sort of hang up on the wall here.
I'll have to try to dig it out. Yeah,
I'm sure the guards have a picture of this.
Yeah, because before we were all running around with smartphones, so showing my age.
But this feeling of making again kind of a big leap, because you're going into bricks and mortar, and then you're also kind of moving to a new premises. I mean, you seem always to sort of land on your feet. You seem to always sort of know that this is going to work. I don't know if that's a false kind of, from my point of view. Were you scared? Were you worried? Were you?
There's always worries, but I suppose you have to just kind of keep
well,
trying.
Keeping brave, I guess, is certainly everything's a risk in this business.
That's it. Well, when you're working for yourself, like.
Yeah,
it's always, as you know yourself as well, like it's always a risk, doing your own thing and hoping that people enjoy it and people back you, like, that's just, it's always a fear, like. So there's many times that I've spoken with my girlfriend and said, Jesus, I wish I just stayed working for someone. And I could get a paycheck on a Friday and go home and
I dream of that day.
But now I suppose I'm too far down the trodden track now, but that's but I do. It has turned out well enough and into a passion as well. Like, so, yeah.
And was Emma on board pretty quickly with the idea too? I mean, of course, she would know that this will take up a lot of your time, and this is, as much as it's a job, it's a kind of almost like a passion, or it's it's like a career that you have to sort of do this.
Since Emma and I've been together now, 2.5 years, and since she's known me, I've always worked for myself, and I've always kind of worked from home, and the stresses have come home and stuff like that. Like, so she's brilliant. Like, if you have a good day, she's there. Bad day, she's there, and that's and also, like, she's in there working away now. Like, as you see earlier on when you got here, like, so. Yeah, it's good. She's a great support.
But cruel though, she's gluten intolerant and she can't have any of the pizzas that are flying under her nose every 5 seconds.
She gets a few into her shirt. It's like me as well. The dairy kills me, believe it or not. But, yeah, but I still eat it. for my sins. But.
I'm guessing it already. You've been open for about a month or so. It does already feel like a natural fit. I don't know if you actually, have to keep thinking about how this works and how it'll work, or do you sort of realise once it's actually up on its legs, it's fine, it does what it's supposed to do?
Well, definitely. I suppose once you get it up and running, it will tip away. But there's always that aspect that you have to be present yourself. You can't leave anything unattended. Just for quality and quality control and stuff like that. Like, I don't think I'm the kind of person anyway that would get something up and wash my hands and let it tip away in the background until I'd be too hands on, like, but it's definitely it's settling in. Like, we're getting very good reviews with everybody, which is nice as well. Like, that's the nicest thing to hear back. The first week is like, there's a lot of anxiety around it, because you're thinking, oh God, are people, because obviously you're in one spot and people love it. Like, we just got voted best pizza in Wicklow on the local pub on Facebook there the other night.
Oh, that's great.
So that's lovely. Like, you're getting the response, but you don't know if that's going to transition into another area, because you could bring it up the road and people think it's crap. So so that it's nice. Like, we were here a week or two and everybody's coming in saying it's gorgeous and they love it, and that's obviously. I should
just check. My arm's about to fall off. What height are you?
6'3".
Are you dirty bollocks? Because here I am holding this up. I've got to hold this up to my forehead almost. My hands are getting weaker and weaker. Thinking, what the hell? But listen, beautifully done, and I think it's a great fit for here. We'll let people know the hours, the days, and we'll put in the links and the phone numbers and all that. But good call.
Thanks a lot.